Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Abyss Tarot T.A.T. Today's pick a card is Spirit Animal Sunday S.A.S. So we're back again with another video with messages from the spirit animals for your week ahead, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the pile. So for pile 1, we have a turtle, okay? Pile 2, we have a bird. Pile 3, we have a mouse. And pile 4, we have a cat. Okay, so go ahead, take a look at the piles. If you feel called to pick more than one pile, go right ahead. Timestamps will be down below, and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who chose pile number 1, the little turtle here, I always like to associate the piles with an element. And so for this pile, I've associated it with water. So you could be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, okay? I have 3 cards pulled here for you from this animal deck, and then we're just going to pull some tarot, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. So pile 1, right away, the first card that came out, look at this, the turtle and the coriander. I mean, come on now, if the turtle doesn't want to talk to you, right? With this little turtle here that you picked, I feel like this turtle is moving towards more, right? Because here we have this little seaweed here, and it's just one. And the little turtle went past it and has a little heart, like loving it, that there's more here. So I feel like you are this little turtle and you're moving from whatever this was to something that is going to give you more, where there's more love, right? You could be a job, it could be money, it could be, a relationship, whatever it is, you're moving towards something better for you, where there's more. So back to the first card being the turtle and the coriander, satisfaction. Card 31 breaks down to a 4. 4 is the number of stability. So you might be moving towards more stability, but again, I feel like there's movement. It says satisfaction. So this card is saying for you to be satisfied where you're going, because you might not be where you want to be in life, but you are moving, and it's better than standing still. Okay, is the whole message with this turtle card here. It's like slow and steady wins the race, right? So even though you're not going as fast as the rabbit, you're still getting there. And because you're still moving, you should be satisfied with that, saying, I'm still getting there. I'm not getting there as fast as the rabbit, but I'm still going to get there. So this turtle is definitely telling you to kind of contemplate on how far you've come, basically, and you're still progressing, you're still moving. And then we have card number 10, and breaking down to a 1, the number of new beginnings, and it says the duck and the chrysanthemum, luck. So you're moving towards luck, and this card does talk about being a lucky duck, right? People, oh, you're such a lucky duck, right? So this card is saying that you are moving towards being a lucky duck. Yes, you're not there yet, but you're getting there. And that's, again, where you should be appreciative of that. You're not standing still and that you're not blocked. As to maybe one time you were blocked, you're not blocked anymore. The road is open. And yes, it's taking you longer on that road, but you're still on the road nonetheless. And so this card does talk about like abundance coming in, maybe, something better, right? And this is a new beginning here. So it says that whatever this luck is, it's going to be good. It's going to be happy. This is a new beginning here for you. And then we have card 13, which is like the death card, right, in tarot. Transformation, the moth and the eucalyptus, an ending. Look at that, which is so interesting because this card here, the luck card, the duck, it does talk about a transformation that is bringing you luck. And then we have the card here of the moth, and it says an ending. So we do have a very lucky transformative ending over here. So you're definitely, there's a change here for you. And so with these cards together, it does talk about it's a positive result. There's an ending of something, and even the ending could have a little heartache with it, but whatever you're getting to is better. So like, let's say for an example, you've been at this job 5 years, right? I'm using the number 5 because we know changes, choices, and challenges. So let's say you've been at this job 5 years and you absolutely love it. You love your coworkers. You love everything about it, blah, blah, blah. But then you get the news, well, we're closing it down. we're closing the company in 2 months or whatever, right? And it makes you feel sad. It's like there's a sad ending here. It hurts. But then in that 2 month period that it's closing, you end up putting applications in, and you end up actually finding a job that is better, more suited for you, has better hours, better pay, and the commute is closer to your house, right? So it's like you don't have to drive even that far anymore. So that's what these cards are saying. Whatever this change is, even though this ending might hurt a little, but you're moving towards something better. So again, this other job ended up being great, even though you love where you were at and the little friendships and all that you built there. But now you're moving towards something better where you're also going to build friendships, connections, better pay hours, that type of thing. So, and again, this is just my example, but whatever the situation is, it's moving to something better. It could even be a relationship ending, right? A relationship that you were like, wow, I thought we were going to last forever, or I thought this was going to be just me and this person till the wheels fell off, but it didn't seem to really work out, or you didn't fit, or whatever the case was. But then as we move here, we're transitioning, you end up meeting somebody that was actually the right person for you. You know what I mean? So it ends up being a transition where there's something better suited for you here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and use some tarot for the Trash Panda Tarot. This is just going to be a quick reading. And I want to see what else this little turtle has for you. But for the turtle to have been your first card, I just started like laughing to myself. I said, of course, the turtle had to come out and be like, listen, satisfaction. You need to be satisfied that you're on that road. You're not going as fast as the rabbit, but you're on the road. And I want you to reflect on that, because maybe in the past you weren't even close to getting on the road. You weren't even, there was no road in sight for you to get on. And now you're on that road. You're on that road for this luck, for this transformation. Let me get 3, please. 3 cards. Pile 1. 3 cards, please. With this little turtle here with the little heart, this is something that, you're going to love. Could even, like I said, be a relationship. Could be a new partner coming in. But this little turtle looks happy, so I definitely feel like this is going to be something that is going to make you happy. Ooh, something wanted to flip. The Ace of Swords in the reverse wanted to flip. So that maybe some confusion about this, right? And being like, oh no, why is this ending? Why is this changing? Up the card fell. And we have the Empress in the upright. Look at that. She has her, look, cotton candy, her crown, her pizza on the side. I mean, she's living life, right? And the Empress is, abundance. It is things coming to fruition. So definitely things are coming to fruition for you in a positive way. Definitely abundance is what I'm telling you with this lucky duck card here. You're going to be surrounded by like good, positive things coming in, positive energies. And I feel like this is around the fall season. Somewhere around the fall is what I'm seeing for you. I'm seeing like fall decorations, Halloween decorations. I'm seeing that kind of stuff with the lucky duck. So in my mind's eye, I feel like this is around the time where you start to, have this change, or you start to notice things take a turn for like a positive. The Empress is a Libra Taurus energy. You might be feeling yourself more right now too, Oh, the cards don't want to come out now. Oh, there we go. We'll take the top one. And we have the Four of Swords. This is a resting period here underneath the lucky duck. Okay, we have the raccoon. He's like inside of a log and he's resting. And he's holding his fork here, or spork. It looks like a spork. And then there's 3 more here, and he's holding on to this one. So, you might also need to rest. And again, understand that you're still moving, even if it's not quickly, you're still getting there. And we have another four. Wow, the Four of Wands. Celebration. Let's see what's on the bottom. The Death card in the reverse. And this represents the death card. This moth and eucalyptus, an ending, number 13. It does talk about how this card represents the death card. There's transformation. The duck is transformation. You have death in the reverse. Here we have it, transformation, but it's in the reverse. So it's almost like you don't want it to change. And that's what I'm kind of feeling here with this Four of Swords. You don't want things to change, or maybe you're not ready for it, right? Maybe you're not ready for it to change. It's like you don't know what to expect, what's ahead. You know you have to move on. You know you have to move on with your life in whatever aspect this is, but you're worried about it. So maybe this is why this rest card is here. But then we have the Four of Wands. And here's celebration. This could, even be a marriage celebration. You could be meeting the right person, moving in, something, right? But this is a happy celebration here. And underneath the endings card, underneath the moth. So I'm telling you, something is shifting here for you, almost to where you're going to be able to take a deep breath and be like, I can't believe this. Like, wow, like you were not expecting this. But again, it's in a positive way. You could have been satisfied, right, with the turtle here. You could have been satisfied already with what you had and with the way life was, the way things were established, but there's a shift here for the better. Wow. Okay. All right, pile one. That's all I have for you. I hope this message resonates, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who chose pile number two, this little bird here, I always like to associate the piles with an element. And so for this pile, I've associated it with air. So you could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, okay? With this little bird, I do feel like communication is probably going to come in. And he has all this little bird seed that he's eating. And I feel like what's changing here too is the communication with yourself, is how you think, how you talk to yourself. Um, being less judgmental with yourself too is what I'm getting with this bird. Like your communication with you is going to be better. You're going to say better things to yourself and look more at the positive things, or appreciate yourself more instead of like focusing on the negative things, or being in the mindset of like woe is me, or something like that, where it's like there's always problems. It's like you looking at the things that are more positive and looking at your accomplishments and the things that you've been doing. Okay. All right. So we have three cards here for you, and we have six, the frog and the lotus, metamorphosis. And I love frogs. If you watch my channel, I love frog medicine because it's so transformative. It says metamorphosis here. So again, there's some type of change going on within you and around you too. uh the frogs, to me, I always say they are the like the re, they are the rebirth, regeneration, renewal. All the re's, right? I say frogs are always the re's because it's like you're redoing something, you're redoing also another re. So there's a change here of starting again, but starting like on the right foot, on a more positive way, right? um yeah, and the frogs also talk about your health, and also working on your health, as to where maybe you've been neglecting your health, you've been neglecting also, again, yourself mentally too. Again, with this bird here, I feel like you're going to work on your thoughts, on pushing out those negative thoughts. If they come in, okay, let them come in, but push them out and think positive thoughts. Like I always say on this channel, with my grandson, he goes through this a lot, where he thinks a lot of negative things, and when I hear him talk negatively about himself, I say, okay, you already said one negative thing about yourself. Okay, I heard you. But tell me three positive things about yourself. And then he'll start, well, I'm a good big brother. I'm good at drawing. I'm good at sharing, that type of thing. And I'm like, okay, great. See, all the positive things about yourself. So I think this is what you're doing, where, okay, you had this negative thought about yourself, or you said this about yourself, or you felt this way, but then you're able to push out and look at the positive things, at your accomplishments, at where you're at, from where you were to where you're at. Maybe you're not where you want to be, but you've still had movement, you've had progress, and you've had some change. So here with the frog, this is about changing those things. And like I said, it could also have to do with your health. Maybe you've been neglecting your health, and you're going to maybe focus a little bit on it more. Also, the frog also has to do with your eating habits. Maybe you're going to start to eat better. Now my third eye is itching. Okay. So maybe you're going to start to focus on eating better, or also not skipping meals, because to me, the frog always kind of talks about like skipping meals. you know, because maybe you're busy working or you're busy doing, you know, other things that we get busy doing, and you might forget, you know, to eat at times, and you're like, wow, it's already 6 o'clock and I didn't even have breakfast today and it's almost dinner. So, you know, you might start to focus a little more on your eating and taking better care of yourself. Okay, so I really like this here for you. There is this metamorphosis word here, so I really do think there's things that are changing, you know. The salamander and black pepper inspiration number 17. Okay, so it's like the star card in tarot, right? 17 is the star. It is Aquarius energy, which is air element, and the frog to me is always Pisces, so water element. Okay, so you might be Pisces, Aquarius here. The salamander and the black pepper inspiration. So this card does talk about like what inspires you. Again, what are those positive things, those accomplishments that you can look at and be like, I'm proud of that. The black pepper, it you know, it's very quick. It's an activator. It's very hot, and the salamander can also take a lot of heat. So you're somebody that can definitely take a lot of heat, and you've probably taken a lot of heat. You've probably been through a lot. But here with the black pepper, I also feel protection, because the black pepper can be used also, you know, to protect against negative things, negative energies, negative people. So I feel like maybe you had a lot of negative people attack you, and also give you this kind of mindset of where they said negative things to you about you, and then you maybe believe them, you know, and now it's like now you're protecting yourself from that. Now you're like, no, I'm not believing them that. I'm not, you know, gonna take it, right? And so I do feel like there's this shield, and now the shield of protection, and also boundaries that you're putting up here. And inspiration. So it's like, yeah, what is inspiring you to take action, to do something different? You know, what is motivating you? Also, you know, with salamander, also fire element, right? Aries, Leo, Sag. What, you know, it's like passion. What is driving you? And like I said, it's giving me Aquarius energy too. Um, there's some kind of hope here for you. It's like a renewal of hope. But I also see like spirit. I also see spirit and your guides. I'm actually seeing your guides with this card. They are um, moving you out of situations and being around people that are actually blocking you and blocking your progress, your blessings, and your path. Um, like I said, I feel like you've probably had a lot of negative people around you that said things to you, but I do feel like your spirit guides are moving you out of that. Um, there's definitely protection here for you. Hmm. There's something else I'm feeling here with it. I'm just like, what is it? There's something else here. You've probably had a lot of like evil eye, negative intentions sent your way too. And I feel like you're protecting your energy. Maybe you're putting up wards, right? Or you should be. If you're not, maybe you should be putting up some kind of wards, because the salamander, I see him kind of going like this, like, you know, all around, like putting up wards. And so I think maybe you need to be putting up wards, or you need to, because I feel like you've had a lot of like negative energy and negative people just, you know, try to attack you. Okay, and then we have 48 here, the dragonfly and the pansy balance. Yeah, so things are going to start to move into balance for you with the dragonfly and the pansies. I was seeing on the card that it talks about the pansies meaning thoughts and like thoughtful. So again, I do feel like your thoughts are changing, and you are being more thoughtful with your thoughts about yourself. So I do see that, but I also see you being moved towards more in a more balanced situation where people are going to appreciate you more instead of hate on you more, because I feel like you've had a lot of like just, you know, negative from people, backlash, things like that. But I feel here with the dragonfly and the pansy, it's like there's going to be more balance, where there's going to be people appreciating you, saying thank you for this, or thank you for being there for me, or you know, things like that, instead of these negative attacks here. So I do feel like this is going to start to, you know, come more into balance for you. But like I said, I feel like it's you being more thoughtful with your thoughts about yourself, but and also people maybe wanting to give you something too is what I'm getting. Maybe somebody's going to want to gift you something, give you something, just to show like appreciation towards you. But I think it all starts with you appreciating yourself, you know. Okay, let me get you 3 of these cards from the Trash Panda Tarot. Such a cute deck. Okay, so from the Trash Panda Tarot, let's get you 3 cards, pile 2. Oh, too many cards. Saw the 7 of Wands there, though. Again, having to put up boundaries and protect yourself. Take care of yourself. So we have water, fire, and air here. Water, fire, and air. We don't have earth. Maybe we'll get some earth. Let's see. And speaking of earth, see, there it is. The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm loving this because I like the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, because when it's in the upright, there's no balance. Well, to me as a reader, other readers might read it another way, but to me, the way I read the Six of Pentacles is that there's no balance, because it's like you're giving too much and somebody's taking too much. When it's in the reverse, we start to have balance. We start to have reciprocity. And this card here, the dragonfly, what does it say? Balance. This card is about balance, and like I said, it's about, like, it's not just everything going to be negative, but you're going to have positive too. So things are going to be into balance. You're going to have people around you that are like this more, that are going to share with you, that are going to appreciate you, maybe even gift you something. He's bringing his little block of cheese here, so here's some cheese for everybody, and we're sharing the coffee. See how they each have their hand on the coffee? They're sharing a coffee, and he's bringing his cheese to share. And like I said, it's in the reverse, so we're bringing balance. We're having more people be grateful and appreciative of you. Okay, so we do have the Ace of Wands in the reverse, fire element underneath the salamander. And again, this is your new beginnings, your passions. This card is about your passions, what drives you, what is spirit, what do you feel spirit is calling you to do? But it is in the reverse. So it's almost like your light, your fire has been put out. But here's where we need to make that change of putting up protection, of protecting ourselves, speaking better to ourselves, treating ourselves better, right? And again, inspiration here. What is inspiring you? What do you feel inspired to do, so that we can turn this card around, so that we can have it in the upright instead of in the reverse, where we feel like our fire is put out, like we're stifled and we can't do what we want. And then we have the Empress here in the reverse. Okay, so Taurus, Libra energy. This is abundance. This is also fruition. This is a lot of things, right? But it is in the reverse. So again, I feel like the balance needs to come in, so that this card can also be turned around here for you. Because once you do that, once you start appreciating yourself, taking care of your health, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, things start to come to fruition for you, like big time flourishing. But but right now it's in the reverse, but there is flourishing here. And I think with you, it starts with the mental, and this is air element, right? The mind, right? The mind, the thoughts, the way we speak, the way we communicate. So again, it's the way you are communicating with yourself. What are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding your soul, right? What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your soul? Okay. So that is your message, pile number 2 from this little bird here. That's all I have for you. I hope this message resonates, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who chose pile number 3, the little mouse here with his cheese, I always like to associate the piles with an element. And so for this pile, I've associated it with earth. So it could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, okay? Here with the little mouse represents strength, kind of like the strength card in tarot. you know, Size doesn't matter, right? Being small doesn't mean you can't do something, that you can't accomplish it. It has to do with um, the strength of your character, right? Not so much the physical. So it's like being able to do something, right? No matter what, even though it might be a tough situation. Also, the mouse represents nervousness, represents worry. So there might be worries that you're having. You might be worried and stressed if you can do it, if you have the strength to persevere, if you have the strength to do this, right? So there might be some worries here going on about something. The mouse also has to do with like money. Maybe there's money issues. You're worried about if you're going to have the money to pay that bill, or to pay the car getting fixed, or to pay whatever, right? There might be some worries there about that. Also, the mouse could have to do with the people you surround yourself with, the friends, right? That maybe you see aren't really your friends. If these are friends that you have to watch in your house to see if they're going to take something, that's not really your friend. And these aren't people that you should be allowing into your house, or into your environment, or your energy for that matter. So it's also kind of needing to look at that. A lot of times friends aren't real friends, So there could be needing to look at who might be taking from you, who might be an energy vampire. Okay. All right. So we have 3 cards here, and then we're going to pull 3 tarot cards. So we have card 25 here, the wolf and the rose hip, guardianship. So with this card here, it talks about you being the leader of the pack, you watching out for everybody, making sure everybody that you love and care about is protected, especially on this journey. So maybe you and your loved ones are going somewhere, and maybe this is why you're worried as the little mouse. Maybe you're worried about, like, is it going to be safe on this trip? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be good? Or are we going to be able to make this move, this journey, whatever this is? Are we going to be able to do it? So there might be some worries here, not just about yourself, but about your loved ones. You might be worrying about your loved ones, about being able to do something. Here with guardianship, I feel like you are trying to show others how to do it. Again, it's like you're trying to persevere, you're trying to push. So you're trying to show them, look, size doesn't matter with this little mouse, right? If you feel like you can do it and you keep pushing, you're going to get there. So I do feel like you're also trying to give lessons on not giving up by you not giving up. You know what I mean? It's like you're showing them by your experiences. And then we have the raccoon here with number 33, the raccoon and the sycamore, curiosity. Okay. So here with the raccoon, this card does talk about, like, the raccoon is very curious. People love the raccoon. And not only that, but the raccoon rarely has any intent to harm anyone. Like, the raccoon's just trying to chill, trying to do, live his life, right? So I feel like this is what you're trying to do. And also here with the wolf, I mean, that's exactly what you're trying to do. It's like you're trying to do your best at living life, and you're not out to hurt anyone, right? But you might also be careful. And what I'm getting here with the mouse is, like, be careful of who you surround yourself with, because not everybody is like you. Just because you're not out to hurt anyone doesn't mean that people aren't going to be out to hurt you. So be careful with that. And then the way these two cards are, it's like the images look almost the same. They almost look like the hanged man, right? They both are hanging like that. And it makes me think of the hanged man, Pisces energy. So looking at things from a different perspective, right? So, again, looking at things, paying attention. Um, and very interesting, because the raccoon does have his eyes where it looks like a mask, where it looks like he's stealing. And again, like how I was saying about the mouse, saying be careful of maybe somebody stealing from you, your time, your energy, your belongings, right? Anything, right? From, like, stealing, an energy vampire. So also be careful, is what I'm getting here. Like, pay attention, look at those little details of who is in your energy, because you might be looking out for them, but they're not looking out for you. Again, these are people, because you're the wolf, you're the leader of the pack, and it's like you want to make sure that everybody eats at your table. And I feel like that's your energy, but you also have to make sure that not everybody needs to be at your table in order to eat. You know what I mean? You can be like, you can eat, but over there on that table, not here on my table. So it's kind of like what I'm getting from the mouse is he's like saying, be aware and be perspective, like use your perspective about things, to pay attention. And then we have 40 here with the bobcat and the blackthorn, patience. Okay, so the bobcat is about having patience no matter how long it takes. Be patient. You're going to get what you want in the end. And then here, like I said, with the wolf and the rose hip, it is about going on a journey. It is about kind of worried about this journey. Like, are we going to be safe on this trip? Or should we even make the trip? Should we go by car? Should we go by plane? Should we go by bus? It's like you're worried about everybody involved in this situation, right? And it's like, be patient, it's going to turn out okay, but it might be a bumpy road too, is what this card is saying with the bobcat. It might be a bumpy road to get there, but you're going to get there. So just be patient. The card is about patience here, so just be patient. 40, the card 40, it is a number of stability, structure, building, solid foundation. So maybe you might be moving. You might be thinking of moving or going somewhere else, or getting a job somewhere else. Something that has to do with your stability, and also with your cheese, right? Your cheese, your money. Hmm. Yeah, be careful, because there are probably going to be some bumps along the road. Um, but again, you just keep going, right? You're going to get there. Okay, let me get you 3 tarot cards here. Even the bobcat looks like he's hanging, like these two. So they all look like they're on this hanging phase, or maybe you feel like you've been left hanging, or you're just hanging there, right, with no movement. But again, with the bobcat, it's very, very slow movement, and it is earth movement, right? Earth is the slowest moving of all the other elements. Air is really fast, so is the wands, fire, cup, kind of too, but earth is the slowest moving one. So definitely need a lot of patience for this one, for this change to happen. But there are rewards here with the raccoon. There is a reward here for you. Like there is blessings. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands in the reverse. Look, he's riding like on a little zebra, like one of those at the park, you know, the ones that go up and down. He's riding that. And then he has his marshmallows on a stick, has the wands, and it's in the reverse though. So yeah, so maybe feeling like you're not succeeding at this, or you're not doing this, or you're not going to be able to do this. Hmm. We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. You're holding on to something that you need to let go of. But here it is in the reverse. So there is a letting go here. And I didn't even think about it, how we're using the Trash Panda Tarot, and you did get the raccoon card. I'm like, I didn't even think about it. The Trash Panda Tarot, and then here you have the raccoon card. And underneath the raccoon card is the Four of Pentacles. And see how he's holding on to his pentacles. Even this one, he doesn't want it to like fall. So he's like really trying to hold it, but it's in the reverse. So it's like we're letting go of these things that are keeping us from exploring, that are keeping us from being curious, that are keeping us from being rewarded. Mm. Okay, and then we have the Lovers in the reverse. Look at that underneath the bobcat. So maybe you've lost hope in love. Maybe this is why you feel like this is taking too long. Like this is the card of waiting, 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 patience. I've been patiently waiting, and love's not working here, and love's not working out for me. Love doesn't live here, right? So this could be like, I don't feel like love's going to come for me. I'm not going to find the right person, or this relationship is going nowhere. So it could be something like that, where again, like I said, this card does talk about those bumpy roads, you know, along the way. But I also feel like you need to focus more on you and your self love, instead of like what you can do for others. Because here with the mouse too, it's kind of like those that you're surrounding yourself with, those that are in your energy, those energy vampires, those people that are stealing from you, whether it's just energy, or they're actually like stealing from you, and they're stealing your time, your patience, your energy, you know, and they're stealing from you. So it's kind of like needing to focus on you and not these people. Hmm, interesting. You're definitely somebody that has very nurturing caretaker energy, and it's like you want to take care of everybody, you want to feed everybody, you want to be there for everybody, but you can't be that for everyone too. I think it's like what the little mouse is telling you. Okay, well that's all I have for you, pile 3. I hope this message resonates, and I'll talk to you later. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who chose pile number 4, the sleeping little cat here, I always like to associate the piles with an element. And so for this pile, I've associated it with fire. So you could be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, okay? All right, here with this little cat, he's asleep, but he's not on his bed, but he's asleep over here. So I feel like there are certain situations that you weren't seeing, or maybe not wanting to see, right? Maybe you said, I'm not going to pay attention to it, right? I'm not going to focus on it. And also things that you could have just been tired of, because he's sleeping, he's tired. So I feel like maybe there's just something you were tired of, and let go. Also, you know, the cats are very witchy, right? And Queen of Wands energy, fire element. So we do have fire here, right? So I do get fire element, very witchy. Um, oh gosh, come on. Very badass energy. I feel like you're somebody very badass, very witchy, maybe like really attractive too. People find you very intriguing, like they want to know about you. Um, but also with the cat, I'm hearing you need to put something to bed. You need to put it to rest. You need to put it to bed. And it's interesting because me hearing that message does go with these cards, because as soon as I saw these 3 cards, I said tower moment. Like that's exactly what came to my mind, was tower moment as soon as I saw these 3 cards. So let's go over them. So yeah, the first card here is number 32, which is the badger, and the ginkgo, healing wounds. Okay, so there's wounds here that need to be healed. It does talk about the ginkgo being like a flower of peace, you know, of being of peace, of tranquility. But then we have the honey badger here, and we know a honey badger don't give a fool. So the honey badger is like the opposite of that. The honey badger is to be known as to be a hothead, which actually goes perfect good with here with the fire element, because to me the honey badger is always Aries. Okay, so it goes, actually these cards came out perfect. So the honey badger is a hothead, and he's known to be aggressive. He also comes out at night, so they see him as like a shapeshifter doing something naughty in the night that shouldn't be happening, something like that, right? So also this card, healing wounds, it does talk about you might have hurt somebody, you might have said something you shouldn't have said, right? Again, being hot-headed, maybe you said something in anger to somebody that hurt them. And so this card does talk about making peace now with the ginkgo here. It talks about like making peace and healing those wounds, again putting this issue to bed, putting this issue to rest, and apologizing. So the honey badger, even though he don't give a fool, you have to maybe apologize to somebody that you affected, to somebody that whatever the situation was, you hurt them. And it's like you needing to reflect and be like, damn, I kind of stepped out of line there. I kind of shouldn't have said those things. I kind of shouldn't have did those things. So maybe out of anger, right? Maybe out of anger, because the honey badger is known to be a hothead. Maybe out of anger, you said something in that fiery moment, and now it's like maybe now it's time to make amends and heal those wounds. And then we have card number 14 here with the vulture and the asphodel. I can't pronounce that name, but it says upheaval. Again, upheaval, conflicts, battles. And here the honey badger and the vulture, healing wounds and upheaval. This might be a difficult situation. You feel like you probably can't just go and say, oh, sorry, I said that. You know, it might be a little more difficult than that. There might be a little more to that. And it says that this plant, the asphodel, it's supposed to grow in the underworld. And so it kind of like, this is like you taking these things to the grave. So here with the honey badger, it's like saying don't take this anger and this fight to the grave. Work it out here, you know, work it out here. The vulture also, he's, you know, he represents death, right? Decay. So again, it's like having to transition from this situation of whatever was said, whatever, you know, was exchanged here, um, to transforming it into an apology, transforming it into, hey, you know, I offer you the hand of peace or whatever, talking about it, making amends, because this is an upheaval here of this battle, of this situation. 14 makes me think of the temperance card, right? Even though it's supposed to represent death, 13, the number 13, but 14 is the temperance card, and it is the card about like balance. It is the card about patience, peace, those type of things of what it's saying here. Needing to kind of work on that, on this upheaval battle that you've had with somebody, needing to make amends and peace with them. So we do have Aries and Scorpio here, and like I said, I feel fire, right? Fire element. And then we have the bat and the hellbore. Okay, number 19. And the bat to me is always Pluto energy. It's Scorpio, so we do have a lot of Scorpio energy here. And like I said, I feel tower moment. You've gone through a tower moment with somebody, and for some reason, this bat card makes me, in my mind's eye, makes me see a man that is sad. That's what I'm seeing, a man that is sad. But we have a bat, and it says the bat and the hellbore, intuition. So using your intuition to make the best choice in whatever this conflict is, this upheaval is. The bat and the hellbore, this does talk about this plant, the hellbore, looking like a cup that has been turned upside down. And again, the cup is like holding all those emotions, all those feelings, and you pour it upside down, you're pouring everything out. So again, needing to talk this out with somebody. All these things that are in the darkness, all these issues, it's like needing to bring them to light and make amends, right? Even amends with yourself, even apologize to yourself, right? For maybe even getting out of pocket like that. You know, maybe have a talk with yourself and be like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. Damn, you know, now I got to go apologize. But also, again, use your intuition on what is the best thing to do here, how to bring light, how to bling, how to bring, maybe bling too, bring some bling, how to bring clarity, and do things the right way here. Again, pouring out that cup, right? Pouring out that cup of emotions here. because you don't want to do what we have here with this plant and take those emotions to the grave. Maybe feeling like you want to say sorry, feeling like you want to talk to this person, but then just keeping it bottled up and stored up isn't good, because you know the bat, he's in that darkness. We don't want to have you in that darkness where you have those feelings stored up and they don't come to light. So definitely here with the honey badger, you're saying make amends. Maybe you made somebody feel like you didn't care about them or like they didn't matter. And I do feel with this badger, I don't know why, I see it in his eyes, and like he's sad or saying sorry. So this is what I'm getting here for you. Hmm. Okay, let me go ahead and get you 3 cards from the Trash Panda Tarot. It's so cute, the little raccoon deck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get you 3 cards and see what else we have for you. Pile 4. What else does the cat have for you, Pile 4? Too many. Let me get 3. Okay, so the first one is the Lovers. Look at that. The Lovers, and this is the card underneath the honey badger. So maybe this is your partner you need to apologize to. Maybe, you know, it says healing wounds. Maybe you need to heal the wounds. Maybe you said something that you shouldn't have said to your partner, something that really hurt them. And it's almost like you feel and you know when you understand that you shouldn't have said it. And at the moment, yes, you were angry or whatever, got you fired up. But it's like knowing that you hurt them is hurting you. So again, it's kind of needing to pour out those emotions and say, you know what, I messed up. Okay, so we have the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse right underneath the Vulture with the upheaval. Yeah, I'm getting that this is like something that you don't want to face alone. So maybe you made this person feel like they didn't matter as a partner, or maybe you told them they didn't matter as a partner. Like there's this feeling of like, oh, I don't care if you're by my side or not. But again, it's kind of like that realization, like, I really don't want to go in this alone. I really don't want to do this without you. You know what I mean? I really don't want to go to the doctor without you. I don't want to get that surgery without you by my side. It's like there's something where you're like, okay, wait. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I didn't care. Or maybe I shouldn't have said that. It didn't matter if you were there, because it does matter, right? So here with this 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like there's something here that you don't want to go it out alone, and it is underneath the Vulture. So there's something you don't want to face alone, but you almost made it seem like you didn't care if you did, or you told this person you didn't care if you faced it alone. Gave them that feeling of like their presence didn't matter. One more, please, for the back. Okay. And we have the 2 of Pentacles. Look at that underneath the bat, and using your intuition. This is Capricorn energy. So balancing things out. You know, this card talks about robbing Peter to pay Paul. There's too much going on. And again, it's almost like I don't have time for anybody or even for myself, because I'm just always so busy. So maybe again, not having given this person any time or attention, or told them, I don't need to give you time. I don't need to give you attention. I don't, whatever. I'm busy. I'm busy. I don't have time for you right now. So maybe this is something you did. Maybe you didn't give the person the time and the attention because you thought, well, I'm busy with other things right now. I don't have time for you. But now it's like coming to that realization, like, oh, I actually want to make the time for you. I actually do feel bad and care about you. You know, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have acted that way. I shouldn't have lashed out, right? The honey badger, he don't give a what he says. And the fire signs are so fiery. They get fired up real quick, right? So they just start, you know, saying things in that heat of the moment. And again, it's like the cat saying, you need to put it to bed. You need to put it to rest. You need to make amends. You know, you need to make the wrongs right. Like, you messed up here. We all mess up. Nobody is perfect, right? None of us in this world are perfect. We all mess up. And it looks like the cat saying this time it was the you bad, my bad, right? Instead of the other person. Because, you know, this time it was us. It was you. It was us. It was you by war, right? So that is what I have for you, pile 4. I hope this message resonates, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.